Okay, good. Welcome back to Blue House on the Prairie, everyone. My name is Jeff.
Oh, I'm Katie.
Oh, you didn't do that. So we're here at the house. We are listening to the wonderful sounds of our workers putting in the cabinets and the trim. The concrete staining guy has come and gone. He's done his stain thing. It looks fantastic. The doors are being installed. They look fantastic as well. We are kind of doing some walking and talking. Katie and I are trying to figure out exactly what we want to do with the property. How do we want to learn homesteading practices? How do we want to, introduce animals into our ecosystem? How do we want to introduce plants and trees and vegetables and buildings or equipment or any of those kind of things that you need when you're homesteading and operating a farm, even if it's a small scale farm. So um, we're very excited. We're trying to take the approach that we don't want to get too overwhelmed with it all and not really know what we're doing. We already don't know what we're doing, but we want to try and take measured approaches to implementing the various homesteading practices or things that we've been reading about. At the same time, we don't want to go so slowly that we don't feel like we're actually doing anything, because for the longest time we've been researching and learning and reading, waiting on our house to be built. All of these things that you have to do before you can actually start physically doing things. And we're getting very close to the point that we're about to move in, and we are starting to talk. Katie and I are about, what are we actually going to be doing first? What are the things, the short-term goals that we're going to put forth to get us to our longer-term vision? And so I think that we're going to be focusing on those kind of things for the next few videos. You'll be coming along with us to see what it's like to set up a new homestead. How do we raise chickens? How do we get chickens? How do we build a chicken coop? How do we plant trees? How do we decide what trees to plant? What vegetables are we going to be growing? Where are we going to be growing them? Those kind of things. We're going to be videoing and taking you along for, so you can understand too, in case you're in the same situation where you're trying to learn. I want to start a garden. How do I do that? Where should I plant my garden? What plants should I put in my garden? Things like that. We want to try and use our successes and our failures to help teach other people and help encourage other people to go out and do the same things that we're doing, even if it's a smaller scale urban garden or if it's a much larger piece of property than even we have. And we like to share our knowledge with other people, and this is a new area of our lives, a new adventure, and so we're trying to take each step one at a time and learn what we need to know about the things that we want to do on our homestead. Um, so I'll show you real quick. You can see the house back here. Our property goes back behind the house for a couple acres, and then to the front of the house, there's another 7 or so down to the road for a total of 10 acres. I think, and then behind the camera, there's a couple more that you can't see. But I think what we're going to do, we're going to try and focus on implementing small-scale homesteading things behind the house, close to the house, and behind it. Things like a garden, chickens, a barn, some trees, maybe a couple goats. At least for the first short term, so that we can understand, how do we take care of animals, what is required, what goes into doing that. Um, how do we need to best manage the water on the land for the garden, stuff like that. And then while we're doing that, we'll be observing the land and the seasons and the rain and the watershed and the growth patterns and everything for the rest of the property, so that we can then take our small scale operation and implement it for the rest of the property as well. We want to make sure that we don't try and tackle the entire property at once, because that would be overwhelming and we don't know what we're doing. But at the same time, we don't want to just sit here and watch the land and not do anything for a year, 2 years, or whatever. We want to make sure and feel like we're making progress towards our goal of having a fully functional homestead out here in the country. So I think short-term goals, things we're going to be doing. The very first thing I think is be building a shed to store our stuff. You can see right now we don't have a shed. The one that's in the background there is actually our neighbor's property, so that's not our shed. But that's going to be the first thing that we do, is be putting up a shed to store any equipment, any supplies, things like that in that building. And then at the same time, we'll also be planting a small garden to get that up and running, because it's the right time of year to start doing that. And Katie's super excited about that, so we're going to be doing that as well. And we're going to do it in such a way that in case next year we decide, oh, this isn't the right spot for a garden, we can easily move it and it won't be a super big disruption to the land. And then we're also going to be planting, fruit trees, maybe some shade trees as well, to start getting those in the ground, at least in the back side of the house, kind of where we have an idea of how we want to develop it. Like I said, we'll probably be doing the same similar practices for the entire 10 acres, but to start with, we're going to focus on the back side of the house, because it's a smaller section of land and it's easier to manage that. And then chickens are shortly to follow. So probably by the summertime we'll have our chicken situation sorted out. We'll at least have a handful of chickens. Katie wants a dozen, but we'll see about that. So we're super excited about getting all of these things set up, and I think that bringing you guys along for the journey as much as we can with these videos is something that we're going to really enjoy, and hopefully you guys enjoy it too. Feel free to let us know what you think. If you have acreage and you do homestead, let us know how you set it up. We're always looking to learn from other people who have done this before. We don't claim to be experts at all, and so any opportunity we can take to learn from somebody else who's done exactly what we're trying to do, we want to do that, because we feel like that's the best way for us to learn and grow and get better at this. And so please reach out to us if you have comments, or leave a comment down in the description or down in the comment section below the video, and of course we'll be happy to respond to any comments. That being said, thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Many more to come, of course. If you enjoyed it, if you got something out of it, please feel free to leave us a like. If you want to see more of these, hit the subscribe button down below. Don't forget to hit the little bell so you can get notifications about whenever we put out videos on YouTube. It's going to help alert you guys for whenever we do make new videos, because we are definitely making new videos. And look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. See you guys. This is Blue House on the Prairie, and I'm Jeff.